It was summertime in southern Michigan, and we had just dropped off my little brother at the airport. It was late at night, I want to say 12:30, 1 a.m., and we decided to take my Mustang. I was driving, and my mom was in the passenger seat. We were driving on a pretty familiar highway in Michigan, well-traveled. It was known for having truck drivers. A lot of truckers would drive that road, especially at night. But since it was late, we really hadn't seen any cars. And to think of it, we didn't see cars for miles and miles. And the only thing I could see was my headlights shining down this dark black highway. I was struggling to stay awake. I was getting pretty sleepy. Until the next thing I knew, there was a body in the middle of the road. I had to swerve my car into the shoulder to avoid from running him over. He was bloody from the few seconds I got to see him. When I got into the shoulder, I was thinking to myself, did I just see that? Am I tripping out? I know I'm tired, but I swear I just seen that guy. There's a man laying in the middle of the road, bloody. I know I seen it. I looked over at my mom reluctantly to see her face. She looked over at me, and her eyes were bulging, scared to death. I've never seen the look of panic on my mom's face like that before. I said, "Did you just see, and we both said, a body." My heart sank, and there was this horrible feeling in the pit of my stomach. She said, "We have to go back." I said, "I know." I didn't want to, because I was so afraid of what I was going to see, but I wanted to be that good Samaritan and help the person out if they're truly hurt. And obviously, there was blood on him. And he was laying, straddling the middle line. His whole body was laying across that. He could have been hit. He could have gotten hit by a car on either side of the road. And I barely missed him. The thought that I could have ran him over made me sick to my stomach. So I turned the car around. We didn't see any cars on any side of the road. Where did this guy come from? How did he get here? There's no cars. What happened? Is he alive? We got out of the car. I immediately grabbed my cell phone and dialed 911. My mom approached him slowly. She was trying to check for a pulse, or just to evaluate him and see what the heck was going on. I got on the phone with 911. A dispatcher told me that a cop was en route and he was 10 minutes away. I said, "Can he get here any faster?" She said, "He's getting there as fast as he can." Apparently, he was trying to wrap up one stop and trying to get to us. Well, I understand police can't be there right away. So I tried to make the best of the situation and stay on the phone with her. Well, it was so dark. Like I said, it was close to 1 a.m. I looked behind me and I noticed a truck coming from a distance. And it started approaching us slowly. He turned his lights off, and I thought that was a little strange, but then I thought, well, maybe he's turning them off because he doesn't want to blind me or scare me, which I can appreciate that. And as it approached, I seen two guys inside of an old pickup truck. They kept creeping slowly and slowly, and once they got up to me, they just had the weirdest look on their faces. It wasn't a look of panic or fear or frightened. It was a cold, dead stare. The driver looked at me and said, "Did you see that guy?" I said, "Yes." And he said, "Is he dead?" The tone of his voice hit the pit of my stomach. I got the most god-awful feeling down deep in the pit of my stomach. I knew these guys were not good people. That's the whole vibe that I was getting. They did not show one act of caring or concern for this gentleman. They wanted to know if he was dead. Normal people, when you come across an accident or someone in distress, isn't your first reaction to say, "Oh my gosh, are you okay? Are they okay? Is he okay?" Isn't that the normal response? Not, "Is he dead?" I don't know what it was, but I had such a quick reaction to him, and I said, and I lied. I said, "We don't know, but I'm on the phone with 911, and a cop should be here at any minute." And when I said a cop should be here at any minute, even though I was told the cop was at least 10 minutes out, the guy raised his eyebrows. He didn't say okay or anything. He took off, and he kept his lights off. He went to the next pull-off off the highway, went down the road. Never seen him turn his lights back on. My mom was completely oblivious of what was going on because she was trying to talk to the man. He was talking to her, but nothing was making sense. We were just so glad to hear that he was alive. I knew that those men had something to do with it. As soon as the cop got there, the paramedics came just minutes later. The man was alive, and according to the cops and paramedics, it looked like he had been beaten up pretty badly, and that someone dumped him off in the middle of the road, hoping that a trucker would finish him off, or someone, like me, would run him over and finish him off. I instantly told the cops about my experience with those two men. I didn't get the plate because it was so dark at night, and to be honest, my vision isn't that great at night, and I was so shaken, I don't think there's any way I could remember it. I mean, I hate to say that, but when you're in that kind of situation, you're just out for survival mode. But the cop agreed with me that it definitely sounded fishy. I know in my heart of hearts, deep down in my soul, I know those men were the guys that threw him onto the highway and left him for dead. I don't know if they ever found those guys. And the guy was really out of it. He could barely talk. I don't know if he ever remembered what happened to him. I gave the cops my information in case they ever needed me. I never got a phone call. I never knew what became of the situation. But I hope and pray to God that if they are responsible, that justice is served for that poor man who was tossed aside like roadkill. How could anyone do that to another human being is beyond me. It's one night that I definitely will never forget.